Welcome, everybody. You're in. All right. All right. And I'm not Matthew McConaughey. I'm not going with his entity. I'm not summoning to him. Too bad he coined that, but it is a pretty cool coin, what he did. Um, Back again, part two, the mirrored reality. Part two, the mirrored holographic. So I remember to put that on there. I may have not. If you don't mind, let me do this real quick and then we're going to get started because we got part two. And this part two is a banger. We did the part one with science. Enough to. Oh, it's there. Okay. I'll fix it later if it's not fixed. Um, I just thought we'd go around and kick this around. I've been meaning to do this. This has been on my agenda for going on 2 months. I knew it was all about timing when I record, when I would start, when was the timing, and we did it. Yes, well, God, uh, Daniel or D Boy, West Coast. What's up with your gray shirt? How many days you wore this? Well, you notice that we had this is the third recording with the shirt on, is because I recorded this and this all three episodes on the same day. Definitely going to be an illusion, but it's a fact. But it definitely has illusionary aspects to it when you take it that this will not be all out at the same time. These three episodes um, will not be out at the same time. So let's take a deeper look at what we did yesterday or last episode with the. We deep dived in the science aspect, and I was even seeing it, and even to the point I'm like going through this. I'm gonna look at um for a book. If you know a book, anybody in the, especially in the conscious community, knows a great book to read about this, I would definitely like to look at it. Especially if they can, it'd be great with somebody coming from both points, knowing them. But if not, I'm okay for the scientific too, because I found that quite interesting. And me myself was revelating on especially on the black hole as being like the pleroma, the nothingness, the darkness, where all everything comes from, even being the center point of holding everything in light, which totally makes sense. That would be the pleroma, that would be the all or nothingness, all spoken by very ancient cultures. And knowing that science is not new, none of this discoveries are new. Actually, they're still far behind in aspects when you start looking at the technologies of what the pyramids could have been, what was the technology layouts of these things, why were buildings not 300 and 400 years ago, these cathedrals really very technology driven, and then we get to the late 18 we get to the 1800s and everything's a wooden cabin looking thing, when we had this thing going on hundreds and hundreds of years ago that was beyond a wooden a wooden kind of cabin or a western city that we've seen made of all wood, hay and stubble, right? And then all of a sudden we look at Tartaria or some of the pictures of these cathedrals that are specifically for the energetic fields that they would bring in this, very high technical, even into the aspects of going into my being able to communicate in areas through the technology they hadn't used. Like I said, we have Stonehenge, which the Catholic Church destroyed a lot in Europe that were there. There's a lot more types of energetic places like Stonehenge. The Catholic Church just destroyed. Not surprised. Destroyers destroy. And then there's the leaders of the foundation. And we're in a good place. But anyways, physically, spiritually, you can be. When they know you have the power to disrupt everything here, as long as you're kept in division from each other. And the thing about the simulation is the division that people, it's a process for degrees. It's a process for degrees, meaning somebody can have this at this degree, and then somebody's over here on this degree, and somebody's at this degree, a little bit. Somebody's over in this degree of understanding and truth. But anyways, let's not waste any more time because I definitely could talk. We're already at the 6 minute mark, but I got something very interesting to share. We're going to talk about this pertaining to mirrored reality in Hinduism. Yes, one of the oldest religions, surpasses the Abrahamic religions by millenniums, a millennium at least, right? Way before. A lot of that was copied from this, or comes from it. Not some copy to disrupt, some copy to emulate. They want the truth out of it. Some do it for power, some do it to learn and expand. Let's go. Let's go ahead and read. In Hinduism, concept of Maya aligns with a holographic universe theory. So right off, it kicks you that it aligns with it. Which one was first? It's not close. It's good though. There's really a good part of this, suggesting the perceived reality is a projection, a divine. The Hindu call it divine delusion. The ultimate reality, Brahman. If you add an A to Brahman, guess what you get? You get Abraham. Ooh. Add an A to it. Is considered the unmanifest and formless. Unmanifest and formless would be the pleroma, or the dark black hole in the science religion, if you want to put it this, we categorize it. While the manifested world is seen as a reflection similar to the holographic projection, this understanding emphasizes interconnected and illusionary nature of individual existence, promoting compassion and self-realization, right? Elaboration. Maya's illusion, the Hindu philosophy, particularly Advaita Vedanta, Maya refers to a concept of the world as an illusion or projection rather than the ultimate reality. This would definitely make sense. Archaics has said this. He thinks this reality we live in here is like a negative of the real one. It's very, he said that when I've heard him multiple times, and I was like, made me go, perk up on that one. The perceived reality is seen as a cosmic dream or a divine simulation created by Brahman, the ultimate consciousness. The Brahman as the source. Brahman is the unmanifested formless. This was what we were talking about being first thought, Barbello in Gnosticism. Even before first thought would be the pleroma, or the monad, changing appearance, arising from the ultimately returning to Brahman. Holographic universe theory. The holographic university suggests that our three-dimensional reality is a projection from two-dimensional surface. This resonates with the concept of Maya, as the universe is seen as a projection from a higher dimension rather than a fundamental reality. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. That's heavy. Hinduism emphasizes the interconnection of all beings and things, which is reflected in the concepts of Indra's net. God, Indra's net reminds me a lot about wouldn't that be in Egypt? I might even dive into that, the Egyptian part of this with the net or the netter, right? Indra's net, the net or the netter. The interconnectedness is a core aspect of the holographic principle where every part contains information about the whole. This is why they said this would be. Let me see what they said. If this goes, okay, yeah, understanding Maya, because I was seeing something this with the holographic reality in science. The holographic nature of reality is practical implications in Hinduism. Spiritual practices like meditation, self inquiry aim to transcend the illusion of the separation and realize the oneness and connectedness of reality. That's heavy because that's kind of what I was seeing. I was seeing when we were looking at the first yesterday's, we were talking about that. I was talking about that. I was looking at the fact that um what would I say? What was it called? There's a word, quantum entanglement or entanglement, where something could be way far away in another dimension or in the part of the field, but it recognizes and communicates still with this other one in a different place. This is what I was seeing and what it was talked about first. That's when I first spoke up and seen it. When we went to the interconnectedness, the aspect of whole contains information about the whole. That's what I was seeing. And then the practicing of that beyond the simulation, unlike some modern simulation theories, Hindu philosophy suggests that we are not merely passive participants in a simulation, but rather willing expressions of Brahman with our true selves connected to the cosmic consciousness, which is beyond the simulation. That would be also one we will get into other, even Buddhism would say that. Higher, and I see that as going to a higher dimension from a lower dimension. I see this as very low dimension. There may even be lower. War to me would be really, but wars on this level could be really, really lower. The lowest part of this level, one of the lowest parts of this level, eating of self or eating of others practice would be to me lowest part of that. And I'll stop murder. I see war is very murderous by force, by deception. Compassion and unity. The concept Maya promotes compassion and understanding as it suggests that hurting others is ultimately hurting oneself, since we are all interconnected expressions of the same ultimate. Notice right away it goes into the Akashic records and that's a good one. I'm going to we'll get into that one. This is going to be a long series, I see, because let's deeper dive here. Yeah. We're using AI. Hinduism, particularly the Advaita Vedanta school, offers the concept of Maya. This shares intriguing parallels with modern scientific theory of a holographic universe. Mayan Hinduism refers to the illusion of veil of phenomenon. There's that veil I was talking about, illusion of the veil. The veil, there's a veil of phenomenon, meaning, that obscures the true nature of reality, suggests that the world perceived through the senses is not the ultimate reality, but rather a temporary, incomplete projection. Voila. 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 Point perfectly. Holographic universe theory proposes that the universe might be a projection from a two-dimensional surface, implies a three-dimensional experience could be an illusion similar to the hologram. Scientific theory, particularly holographic principles and simulation hypothesis, suggests that the reality might be much more akin to illusion or cosmic simulation. Points of convergence, the projection of reality. Hinduism's Maya concept of a reality has a deceptive illusion aligns with the holographic principle. Voila. This is why the illusion is you can be stuck or trapped. It's there. But there's always a way out. And I'm going into even here with Maya, there's a way out of Maya. You have to get out of the illusion. Knowing that the illusion really, I see the illusion as even being, it has an end, meaning the illusion, why it's such an illusion is not real, but it also is not lasting. It doesn't have a marker of eternity that something it always is. It's more like that this is the way it is, and then it leaves. Like a fad, almost, right? This was popular and now it's not. Both perspectives point to a deeper reality beyond immediate perception. Hinduism identifies Brahman as the ultimate truth. The holographic principle implies a higher dimensional realm where the universe's true nature is encoded. Gnosticism. That's 110, scientific Gnosticism. And this too. It just told you that. The impermanence of the universe. Hinduism describes Maya as creating a temporary world. Similarly, the holographic universe is viewed as changing. That's what I mean by changing, is it's never going to stay the same. Things aren't concrete. They don't stay the same. It's like there's this concept of the Old Testament in there. There's the scriptures that say he cannot be moved. He can't get the same always, but then there's always the aspect of yourself transforming or changing or transmuting or Consciousness is key. Both Hinduism and modern physics emphasize the importance of consciousness in understanding reality. The observer effect and quantum mechanics suggest that consciousness influences reality. The notions echoed in Hinduism of the understanding consciousness is crucial for transcending Maya. Transcending. Hinduism's unique contributions. Wow. Hindu and Christians will call this the devil. I just have to get, traditional, if you know what I mean. Jay Giles Band. Illusionary nature of the perceived world points towards a deeper spiritual truth. It emphasizes the need to look beyond the illusion of multiplicity to recognize the interconnected of existence and oneness with the inner self. While Hinduism and scientific holographic reality theory offer distinct perspectives, their convergence of the ideas perceived rightly might be a deeper illusion and thoughtful provoking. Both fields encouraging questioning the nature of existence, recognizing the possibility of profound underlying reality that transcends ordinary perceptions. Wow. I just say wow. I'm blowing. So when you look at it, that thing, Hinduism is very much with Maya in the way that it is. That's why you would have a system of stretching. It's good for the body. It's good for the mind. It's good for the soul. It's good for all that. But it's also stretching out. It represents a stretching past your belief systems, the illusions. Belief systems, I'm going to correlate as the illusion. By stretching out, you surpass it. You go past it. Powerful, and powerful. This actually, is something that has been taught. I mean, Hinduism is one of the oldest religions. Like I said, it precedes Abrahamic faith. Actually, people in Christianity, anybody who's kind of spiritual and coming to esoteric Christianity or understand the concepts of esoteric know by a lot of Christianity, even Old Testament, so there's aspects of copying Hinduism. And when I say copying, it's because you take truth, you embody it, and you want it to, and bring it to your reality or culture. If it's truth, you'll write about it, but the names will change because it would be according to your culture or your society that you've taken, but it would be the same truth from that. That's why I said you got Brahman and you got and you got Abraham. And I've said this multiple times. If you know a little bit about this, Brahman's feminine aspect, who he's connected to, is one feminine aspect is Saraswati. Notice Sarah. Notice Brahman and Sarah. Abraham and Sarah in Abrahamic religions. Guess which one was first? I really, with a lot of the Abrahamic because of the and that's where you go into the indoctrinations and the dogmas and stuff. And a lot of this stuff is just but the concepts were science is saying this is the truth of what they were saying is the truth that things we're finding out with the quantum field, the quantum reality, the simulation theory. What they were saying in their way that you had to decode because they just didn't straight tell you, but they were telling you when you're decoding and you're caught up in understanding the revelation and you're getting the divine knowledge, right? You would know. So, very interesting that when you start looking at this, that this was something that was adopted, and it's something I've been meaning to do because of the mirrored of this aspect. And while I'm talking, which will be very little longer because we're almost done with this episode, but I do want to plug this in because I may make another episode after this. I'm 6 in the morning. May not. But I want to plug in a computer, but I do want to leave you with a thought that I had was I was seeing like a house of mirrors, and I looked at this like many weeks ago, kind of playing with this within myself, kind of visioning it. Was in meditation. I looking at a house of mirrors. So you walk in the house of mirrors and you see you, and you look around and you start scanning, and you start scanning with your peripheral vision. You're seeing all kinds of mirrors, and it's you. But there's only one you. So these are reflections into the mirror. Remember, this is a holographic mirrored, reflecting from the original down. And then I started looking at it, and I started looking at, could you imagine seeing this as being a reality? But there's really, when you look in the picture, if you start looking at these different mirrors, you'll see a reflection of light too. That one light is reflecting from the one place, but hitting every mirror, so that reflection of you emanates in all the mirrors. So that when you see you, and then as we went into a little bit of this with, I use scriptures according to the canonized version on the first one, kind of led with it, that I look in a glass darkly. Myriads of the holy ones coming down from heaven. Myriads, the Christ-like myriads, mirror images of the original one coming down. Meaning many Christs, not one in the story, not one man, which traditionalists are looking for. It's not about a man. You've made it an idol, but that's, of course, the indoctrination and the lack of understanding of not having those different understandings and those different teachings. The quickening, when you know within you that you just got a message and a revelation within, right? So I was looking at this and I've been holding it for a while. The mirrored image, you would see self, which would be, and then you would see you and everything, which would be represent that we're all interconnected to each other because we're one from that same source. Yeah, think about it. Deep. And then everything so much is connected to the mirror. And there's a mirror connection in Hinduism, which we've seen today, Buddhism, which is coming, Gnosticism, which is coming. And what was the one I just seen that keeps popping up? I said, I got to look into this. It was at the bottom. God, what was it? I forgot already. God, I need to add that. And I already forgot. Hopefully it pops back up. It will come to my memory if I need to add this, because adding it would be adding another part of the series, which I don't mind. It keeps me busy building when I do that. But you guys have an awesome, awesome day. Please give if you can't. Share. And please share with you guys, others, anybody that's open. Because the algorithm sometimes handcuffs you when you're not getting comments and not getting likes. A lot of people watch videos and not put a like on there and not share. They'll just watch and not like or share. They'll just watch and they'll be gone. The algorithm's helped by that. So if you can help with the algorithm, once watch, share, like, subscribe, you guys have a great day on this Thursday. Ooh, did you know that Thursday is actually Thursday? Yeah, it is. But we'll be back with part 3.